Welcome everyone to the next EU4 multiplayer series where I accidentally closed out of the recording for my audio before saving it, so there's no audio for episode 1. But at least you guys get to see me in this personification of a Poland ball as I yap about my strategy to play as Byzantium in a multiplayer series where there are no restarts. But anyway, here is the start of the campaign where we get in as Byzantium with about, I want to say 20 people, or maybe even less, and the server has been lost. Well, that's EU4 stability for you. Getting into the game for real this time, the strat is to ally firstly the knights as you see here, who is an actual player, and search around for any AI that's willing to ally. I'm hoping for Albania, Serbia, Hungary. Wallachia will also do, but unfortunately here Serbia and Wallachia are rivaled, so it's one or the other. Then while I wait for Hungary and Albania to like me enough to ally me, I declare war on Epirus for our core on Orta and Kefalonia. It's not much dev, but it's better in my hands than in the Ottomans' hands. And here we can see that during the war, Hungary does want to marry me, and it will only take some time to get that alliance. There it is. There's the alliance. We're pretty much set, I think, for the offensive war against the Ottos once the starting truce runs out. And it's while we wait for the war against the Ottomans that the first blood has been spilt in the campaign. Hesse decided to declare war on Würzburg in the HRE. By doing so, declares on a very complicated string of alliances that ends up in his untimely, or rather timely, death, and the entry to the fallen portion of the video at the end. At least it's not me. But who does he respawn in as? As you can see here, he's currently loading into the game. So who will he spawn as? Well, short answer, Ethiopia. He spawns back in as Ethiopia in Africa. So there's another player in the area, I guess, or maybe soon to be in the area. All right, now here's a stroke of bad luck. While waiting for truces to end, Ottomans deck on Albania, and I allied Albania because I wanted Skanderbeg. Now, this could be used to my advantage because the Ottomans are now at war with Venice, which starts out guaranteeing Albania. However, the issue being I don't have 10 favors with Hungary yet, and I really need Hungary to be in this war to make it much, much easier. So after a few years of deliberation, or really just 5 minutes of deliberation, I decided to not let this opportunity pass and deck without Hungary, but with the knights. So the knights and I can use the Venetian navy to our advantage, maybe blockade the straits, and maybe, since I'm so close to having the favors with Hungary, just maybe get them in the middle of the war to finish off the Ottomans. That is the strategy for now. We'll see how it works. And let's deck. So the starting strategy here, the opening moves rather, here in this Ottoman war is to take our armies and head up to the capital of Albania where the Ottomans are besieging. We don't want Albania piecing out, taking Venice out of the war, giving us less of an advantage on the sea. And at the same time, with mine and the knights' navies, we go and try to take naval supremacy from the Ottomans in the Sea of Marmara, or the Bosphorus Straits. So here's the first battle of the war in Orhyd. Unfortunately, I chose poorly in the terrain, fighting in highlands, so we get a -1 in this battle, and making it really a loss, and we retreat to Constantinople. But luckily, we do have naval supremacy in the Sea of Marmara, at least for now.
I forgot about something. There you go.
Ah, yes, and the Pope declares a crusade for the Ottomans. Not really useful for me, but actually pretty useful for the knights, giving them some bonuses in manpower recovery and morale. But what is useful is that alliance with Hungary right there. And with that, the war is pretty much done with just one good battle in the Balkans, and that's a stack wipe. And of course, the Ottomans smelt blood with our armies, our very weakened armies in Constantinople. I tried to do what I could to get out of there, but unfortunately the knights were caught here in Constantinople. But it looks like the Ottomans do not go for me in Gallipoli. I don't know why. They would have been able to definitely stack wipe me. But somehow the Ottomans decide not to go for me in Gallipoli, so here's to hoping for me to grab Gallipoli before anything bad happens. And unfortunately, the emperor dies in the middle of the war, so that means we get pretender rebels in Constantinople, but that doesn't matter because it looks like Hungary is going to go deal with them, so that's great. And we might actually be able to take Gelibolu. This is going to be a really good war for us. And war is going really, really well. However, the Ottomans are now challenging our naval supremacy. So now a joint Byzantine and Knights naval exercise is in order, and it looks like we win in the seas as well as in the land. And Macedonia has fallen, so now all that's left is to stack wipe this Ottoman army here in the hills. And now they retreat to Gallipoli, where they will all die. And now we cross the strait to get 100%. We want 100% to take as much as we can from the Ottomans so that, one, they're no longer a threat, and two, we remain as stable as we can with everyone else having more or less freer reign over the AI. Now, unfortunately, a couple of bad decisions were made in haste, losing us a couple of battles in Hudvinagar. So now it's become more expensive to get a 100% peace deal on the Ottomans. So with a 71% peace, we take what we can. That's being most of Greece, some of Bulgaria, and Kocheli, the fort in Kocheli, to make sure we can go into Anatolia next time. And now with the peace against the Ottomans, we gain these events to drive them out of the Balkans and to reclaim Nicomedia, giving us some good bonuses. And what is next is that we go ahead and release Bulgaria as a vassal and take some missions that we've gotten. And also we do help Genoa out in a war against Venice to take back some of the Aegean Islands, which we do, giving the Aegean Islands to the Knights as a repayment for helping us against the Ottomans. And I do take the Venetian Aegean coast, releasing Dalmatia and Montenegro as vassals and keeping Druj for myself. And aside from a war with Serbia, where I take Kosovo, the gold mine, and feed Montenegro, our vassals, the Serbian provinces, that's it. The entire session was revolved around the war against the Ottomans, which we have won. And the next episode, which will actually be session 3, because I could not make it to the second session, we continue on with our conquests in the Mediterranean Sea. So if you want to see that, please subscribe if you haven't already, and head over to the Twitch channel if you want to see additional content. And with that, goodbye.